Good morning. Hey, Vern Warnke here, Sheriff Coroner from Merced County. Today I've got Alan Peterson, Superintendent within the schools of Merced County. And I asked him to come with me today on Tailgate Talks and kind of give us a feeling of what's going on with school safety and give us a pulse of what's going on in your school district.
All right, Vern. Happy to be here this morning. We take care of and educate about 40% of the high school students in Merced County. Livingston, Atwater, and Merced High Schools, 6 comprehensive sites, 3 alternative ed sites in Merced. And I would say prior to this year, we were struggling pretty heavily coming out of the pandemic and the various behaviors with students, some with adults. I'm sure you dealt with that also. But I'm really proud of the movement and the changes over the last 18 months. And we've seen a lot of improvement this year, and I can comfortably say that we're almost back to pre-pandemic.
When you say improvement, we're talking about the school itself. I mean, what's going on?
No, I'm talking about safety issues, behavior issues with students.
Okay.
They were off the hook for a couple years, and you can't just turn kids on and off. I think you knew that very early on, and I knew that soon after you. With some of our state policies, and we turned them off for a good 6 months, and then had various ways of educating them for another year, and it caused serious problems.
Well, now I know it would come out of the pandemic, but Alan, do you have your thumb on maybe a reason why the turnaround in some of the behaviors on the kids, or the improvement that you're talking about? Do you have an idea of why it's improving?
Yeah, well, our support systems, we call it the MTSS program, multi-tier systems of support, are kind of wraparound services within our district for kids. We've done a better job internally in educating our staff and creating intervention specialists to deal with problems. I mean, kids don't wake up and come to school and say, "Oh, I want to be suspended," right? There's issues. There's reasons, root causes that we see certain behaviors. So it's getting to the bottom of those root causes and dealing with them.
So you've identified some of these issues, and you've got personnel trained and ready to take on the responsibility of getting that, so we don't have these issues. I know because we've got some deputies in your school district, and I hear the calls and we get the emails and middle of the night stuff. And you're right, the first year was holy moly, it was just kind of off the hook, and now we're just getting the standard reports about just dealing with the everyday school stuff.
Yeah, and it's not that we don't have issues, we still have issues, but we're just not seeing the extreme ones that we had seen the last couple of years.
As a superintendent, would you have any advice to the other superintendents within the county? Because I know Isabel and Hilmar and got Steve teaching here. I mean, for what you've seen as far as an improvement, what would you? Do you have any advice for that?
I think number one, kids have to be in school.
Yeah,
they have to be here. So for our students, we have a small percentage of truant students. So we have to identify those students, get them to school, and then, all right, what are your support services for those that need a little extra, right?
Yeah.
And not everyone needs extra. It's kind of, giving each student what they need to help them be successful. So I would say attendance number one, and support number two, and then training your staff on how to deal with various issues effectively.
Well, I'm glad to hear that things are improving, and I agree with you. Since the pandemic, I wish we at the sheriff's office had I could jump up and down and say everything's improving with us, but it's not. I know that we're involved with the school districts and with yours specifically, and I'm just hoping in our future we don't have to scale back, because the plight I'm under with the staffing, and I sure don't want to remove anybody from the schools, but we got to have people out there to call 911 or to respond to 911 calls. So let's hope we don't have to give get to that, and let's keep
No,
our relationship.
and we don't. I am thankful for your support and your entire department's support of our resource officer resource program, school resource program, and they have been incredibly effective. It is noticeable, Vern, the supportive behaviors, just really being helpful, doing whatever is needed at the site, and intervening early. We appreciate those things, and your officers do a great job of that.
I'm very proud of my staff and working under conditions like that, and you've dealt with it with your staff and working in conditions that most people just throw in a towel, and they didn't. And I'm very proud of my people, as I know that you are of yours, because the results are proof's in the pudding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, well, I appreciate your time today, Alan, and getting people kind of feel what's going on. And folks, anytime you want to reach out, and especially for me at the county, just remember this: anybody at the county, it's first name dot last name at countyofmerced.com. So if you want to get a hold of me, you know my first and last name, you want to do that. Alan, is there a way that they can?
A. Peterson at muhsd.org. That's Merced Union High School District.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you a lot.